Alright, before I start the video, I want to address that this is my opinion. If you do not agree, that is fine. But do not harass me or say that my opinion is disagreeable with no constructive criticism. Anyway, without further ado, this is why I personally think Pillow is the worst character in the BFDI franchise. Now I know people may find her murder instincts funny or entertaining, which I can sorta get, I guess. However, you have to admit it is getting old and boring, and it has pretty much become her whole character. Her murdering can also be the loss to her team sometimes. For example, her murder instinct caused them to lose in Teapot 7 and 9. While people say it was not technically Pillow's fault they lost in Teapot 9, that cannot be any more wrong. She literally just assumed what the challenge was instead of actually trying to find out. Instead, she murdered her whole team with no remorse whatsoever. Overall, her murdering has become old and not funny anymore. I think if they make her personality more than a killing machine, that will make her slightly more tolerable. Pillow has literally sabotaged her team more than any other character in BFDI has. Not only are her methods cruel and sometimes inefficient, but she has zero logic when she does it too. She would have technically made them lose in Teapot 6 as well if Nickel didn't stop her from killing the dragon. I think her sabotaging adds onto her being old and unfunny, because in Teapot 12 she's also the reason her team lost. You see, while Donna and the others were fighting, she could have easily saved her team if she flipped the hourglass. But she literally said nah and did nothing to help her team in the slightest bit before that too? To conclude this reason, I'm going to say that her sabotaging her own team needs to stop, because it's not funny anymore, and it's gotten rid of a lot of good characters like Nickel and Bombi. I swear every Teapot episode has Pillow at least take up a solid 12 minutes of the episode. Her screen time took up most of the other just not members' screen time up until Teapot 10, which was literally the last episode with them as a team. What amazes me is how she gets so much screen time, yet every time she's on screen, she does nothing interesting nor entertaining. I overall think she should have less screen time as a character, because it's clear that she's just going to do the same boring stuff she does every episode. Also, I want to mention that I know her screen time in Teapot 10 was needed, but it seems it literally taught her nothing, so yeah. You cannot sit there and tell that Pillow has done anything as a character to develop besides Teapot 10. She literally has no positive relationships in the game. When I mean none, literally nobody in the game likes her. I'm almost positive of that. She has no potential friendships with literally anyone, so I don't see how she can develop now. If anything, she was more developed in pre-split than Teapot in my opinion. At least her thing with being trapped inside 4 was interesting and had potential. Jack and Jellify always bait us with potential character development, like they did with Pillow in Teapot 10. I thought she was going to fulfill her good deed thing more, but clearly, that's not the case anymore. Overall, I think she lacks the character development to stay in the game any longer. However, she was decent in Teapot 10, and that's the only episode I can say she slightly developed in. You can seriously see the difference with BFB Pillow and Teapot Pillow. BFB Pillow was a decent character who had good friendships and actually interesting stuff going on with her character. And in Teapot, she's just a boring murder machine who lacks good character and morality. BFB4 was pretty much her best moment in any season she's been in my opinion. It proved that she can be loyal and do actual good things to help her team. If we see more of this side of her, it may help her lack of development. In my opinion, Pillow's morality was what made her enjoyable. In Teapot 2, that's when I lost hope for her character, and that's also when I noticed her fall off. To conclude this reason, Pillow was a more enjoyable character back then than she is now in my opinion, and I stand by the fact that she is almost irredeemable if she doesn't change. Her research thing is an awful attempt at making her interesting. Her research is literally just ways she can murder people, which adds onto my point earlier about her just being a killing machine. Her research quote-unquote is also the reason her team lost in Teapot 9, and the fact she acted shocked when she realized killing doesn't help her team yet she still does it baffles me. And the fact that this was meant to help her character says a lot about how poorly executed it was as an idea for her. Character development would be like she learns that her ways of killing were wrong, as seen in Teapot 9, and that she needs to change her strategy. She literally has not changed one bit since then. To conclude this reason, the whole idea of her research quote-unquote was dumb to begin with and did not help her become a better character at all. Pillow has gotten so many good characters out in Teapot. She was literally the main reason her team lost in Teapot 9, yet she's still safe over Nickel. I don't see the logic within that. She also was safe over my favorite character, Bombi, who I was hoping to get at least to merge in Teapot. It was super upsetting for me to see my least favorite stay over my favorite. I find it a bit unfair they gave Pillow a moment in Teapot 10, then immediately put Just Not up for elimination after the fact. It almost felt like they wanted Bombi to get out. Even Nelly would have been more interesting if she stayed in over Pillow. She could have had a friendship arc with Price Tag and Bombi since they were both very close friends to her. To conclude this final reason, Pillow ruined so many chances of a lot of characters getting further development and actual interesting plot lines/arcs. Anyway, once again, this is my opinion and you do not have to agree. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss one of my uploads. For now, bye, and until next time.